What's going on, everybody? It's TekMuNNee. Thanks for joining. Thanks for watching. We are in the money, 10-2 MLB picks since opening day, rambling and gambling sports. It's Friday, July 31st, almost 4:50 p.m. Eastern. My apologies for the delay versus usual. It's actually good. A lot of hard analysis on making sure we pick that right pick for that official pick to go number 11, because there's two picks we love. That's why I'm doing it slightly differently today. I still haven't wagered, but I'm going to tell you what I'm going to wager. I wanted you to get the video first versus before. What I used to always do is wager, post it, then you get the video. There's a big gap and time delay by the time you can hear what I'm doing. And I think today you need to hear both sides of both games that we love, so you can make your own sound decision. But I'm still going to be making one official pick and laying my money on just one item. And I think it'll be a good conversation to have in here, where we break down the metrics just like usual, the thought process just like usual, but a little bit of psychology. And right off the bat, off the psychology, okay, I'm going to let you know what I'm taking and what I really like a lot. Okay, and I've talked to the two guys that I really admire. I would already be on this with or without them, but I need to consult with them. You know who you are, so we're all on the same page, and that's what's crazy. But I think my official pick will be different, and it is going to be Oakland Athletics minus 200. And what I mean by different is you're going to hear exactly the breakdown on why I'm taking it, and it's going to be something more related to psychology today, of the aspect of wagering, especially when we're on a nice streak and we're up some money. We're not just chasing a favorite. That's not what we do. If you've been following us and you're with us and you're tailing us, you know that's not what we do. The only thing we do is we attack opportunities, and we really try to just bash out on them. And we fade things very quickly. And we find that the process I use for this is the process we must always use. And here right now we're 10-2. And right off the bat, so again, Oakland Athletics minus 200 money line, the pick we love. That again, now that's the official pick, but the pick we love is the Chicago White Sox. They have been in my book at all day and minus 160, the social parlay, but we're not doing that. We're taking the Oakland Athletics minus 100. I just want to say it's 165 now, but I want you to know all the homework and analysis, if it matters to you, was showing the line at 160. This was always 200. So just so you know, while we've been doing homework, and I know it's been like that since noon in my book, so it's been over 4 hours at least, and more than that. It's been a $40 difference to take Oakland versus Chicago. If you're doing the style we're doing, if you're following what we're doing, and if you're up money, just hang in there and listen to what this is all about. One of the psychological decisions we made with my guy Matt was that we have to pay today for a little bit of insurance to not lock in a guaranteed win, but we're paying insurance of $40 or now $35 to make sure we're making sure that we're trusting the process that we've been doing. We do not want to venture off the process of selection and going through the metrics. And it is such a tight selection between having the one key one we want to have. All right, we're not doing parlays here, not often, not with this. We're trying to get a nice just roll going and just keep getting money and keep stacking the chips up. Okay, we don't want to tease anything, do anything like that. That's why I'm telling you, we love two picks, and that's why I'm telling you we're doing this differently. We're going to get the video out there first, and then I'm going to bet it. The disadvantage might be that the line might move on me. If it was already going to move, if I bet it first, by the time you saw the video and bet, then it would have moved on you anyway. So the advantage will be against me first, if you're thinking about this, okay? If that matters to you. It shouldn't. So again, one quick aspect I should mention at the end, but I'm mentioning first, we feel that to trust the process I'm going to go over, the breakdown we are about to go over, we're paying a little bit of juice in the Athletics versus not. Yes, 200 overall is juice. I just want you to know, if you're just joining us, following us, no, that's not what we do. We don't just chase favorites around here. That's definitely not what we do. And if you've been with us, you know that's not what we do. So right off the bat, one of the reasons I always start the homework with the pitcher breakdown and then get into the batting side and also head-to-head matchups, even the pitches, all kinds of stuff. I'm slow with it. Takes me time. Right off the bat, what stuck out, Taijuan Walker, worst hard contact rate, 64.7, hardest of the season I've seen so far up there. Terrible, 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 terrible. He's just terrible in every category but walks. The worst ground balls. So he's not giving up ground balls, but they're hard contacts. What's that mean? Well, what did we do with Texas? What did we talk about with the Dodgers yesterday? If you've been following us and all the video breakdowns I'm doing, that means that ball's going in the air to the warning track if it's going. If it's making contact, there's a chance it's popping around and it's going to head out of here. Okay? That's the thing with that. So, he also is terrible with strikeouts. 9.5%, no good. Terrible Sierra, just no good. Now, the WOBA for Oakland in this situation is supporting Oakland, okay? 0.328. We're going to get into the bat side of that, all right? And yes, we will get in the White Sox side here. So it's not that one team was better than the other. Again, this became more of we are betting this one game than the other because we're just going to continue to trust the homework and the selection process, okay? Not that the one pick was maybe better than the other. And that might sound silly, but it makes sense to us. All right, and it took a lot of decision making to make sure that we want to put our money. We would be so upset if we didn't have our money on Oakland and it clearly worked out, or if we had money on the White Sox and God forbid it didn't work out and then Oakland did. So because the process and selection would always put us at Oakland first, okay, and it would have White Sox up there. I just want to make sure you understand that psychology today. All right, now. All the numbers to Taijuan Walker are just terrible except the walk rate. But I think, and my buddy Matt mentioned that, there's a reason for that. Is maybe because he just hasn't had much opportunities to throw walks. He doesn't get up in the pitch count. So I haven't really dug into that. But that makes sense. If he's giving up this much hard contact, there's that chance. And I think what you have in this situation on the bat side with this is you got all the Matts, like my buddy Matt. All right? Matt Olson, 289 ISO. Matt Chapman, 250 ISO. Mark Canha, 252 ISO. Marcus Semien, 241 ISO. Ramon Laureano, 239 ISO. These are very strong numbers in this situation against Taijuan Walker for the Oakland Athletics. Now, I'm going to quickly mention their WOBA overall is 0.328, which is very good. Some of the WOBAs tonight out there are stronger. We keep talking about the White Sox. They're at 0.354. We're going to get into that detail. They're definitely one of the best offense matchups today on the slate when it comes to getting at a lefty pitcher. When you play some fantasy, they get some points when they face a lefty pitcher. They do numbers. We'll get into that game. So, just so you know, 0.354 and the Athletics 0.328 with the WOBA. Beautiful. The White Sox 0.200 ISO. Athletics 0.193, so 0.7 thousandths of a percent. What I like about, and not comparing now, so as you can see, if you compare, there's very similarities with the White Sox setup and the Athletics setup, okay? Now, what I like about the situation specific to the Athletics, just to Taijuan, is he's a righty, and against righty, there's real strong stats. There's 564 batting against a right-handed pitcher, handedness, and when you break it down in some details here, and they're strong against the lefty too. So if they bring in the bullpen, we got a strong situation. Not that the White Sox don't, so just hang in there. We already know Seattle's bullpen's not too sexy. At least that's what we're being told, and that's what we've kind of seen a little bit. So Athletics are just set up all day to support what we're seeing from Taijuan Walker going right in to bashing on anyone else that comes in. The numbers are stellar. Now, talking about the White Sox bats, right? Because we're looking at it right here, I, 354 WOBA, 0.200 ISO. So very, very strong numbers there. And you know what's going on over there. We'll get into that situation. They got a guy jumping in from single A. We're going to break that down a little bit. So again, I think what we're trying to do here is a consistency of what we've been doing with our process and our pick selection, which is where we want to attack one of the worst pitchers of the slate, at least with the pitcher metrics and the breakdown. And in this situation, it's pretty bad. So let's hope to see that it continues to work in our favor. All right. And the Athletics numbers are strong in this situation, just like we talked about. Those ISO numbers are good. The WOBA's good. Okay. That's the situation with that. Let's talk about the Oakland Athletics pitching situation with Sean McNair, or McNair. I'm going to call him McNair for now. So, the one thing he's not good at is hard contact. He's fourth on the slate today, 48.8%. That's actually one of the higher ones. We've attacked that number this week and made money. So, yeah, I do know that that's a fear out there. That's the only thing that is actually sticks out to me, okay? Now, a good thing about this is Seattle is slightly above the middle of the pack, slightly below the top of the pack. So up there, like a right almost to the elite side, but not just there, with 23.6% on the strikeout rate. So there's a chance McNabb, if he can just do his thing, he can get Ks. Now, remember, in that situation, on paper, McNabb's got 25.8% strikeout rate. All right? And he did that number should regress, but I think with the type of bats we have with Seattle, we can bank on the fact that let's hope that he can actually continue to do par or even above and kind of still throw Ks today. And I think in the Angels outing, he didn't do too well. He got lit a little bit when it comes to the runs, and I think he got the loss. I had to look, but 40 of his 55 pitches were strikes and right on. He had control right down the middle. So when I look at McNabb on the pitching slate today, he's not the sexiest on the pitching slate, but he's definitely up there for me when it comes to the matchup with Seattle. And I just think the bats with Seattle, I'm not too scared of that many of them. I'm not going to break down some of the levels. Actually, we can. I mean, Mariners actually projected to score some of the lowest runs today at .375. And batting against lefties, 233, righties, 244. They're just bad down there, right? The WOBA, 322, that's decent. Decent WOBA. ISO, 172 average. So with that said, and what you're looking at here, as you can see, there's definitely some hitting here. Seattle and McNabb history. There's definitely there. Kyle Seager can look. They're not a great average, but you know what Kyle Seager can do. And the thing with this is also a lot of the same handedness. I think they might be throwing a little bit of platoon side out. I should check that before I mention it. So let's back up a little bit. Just go right to this Kyle Seager comment. And Malik Smith, if he plays 5 at bats, good amount of hits. So some don't have history, some do with not at bats. It doesn't stick out, but overall we know the Mariners this year aren't set up to show power and get hits. That's my thing. And I think the last I saw, Vogelbach was projected not to play. That's just a player I get annoyed of. And when you look at some history on the Oakland side, we already went over the detail of the metrics. You'll see some history here. And you see Robbie Grossman, if he does play, he's on my home run list. Maybe he can eat one up again. So there's Mark Hanna there. 3 for 3. Again, you can argue regression, or you could argue the ISO numbers at 252 on Canna, and overall the numbers we spoke about. So we really feel that the process we follow favors exactly why we're taking the Athletics, and just going to continue following the process and making the pick. We don't want to get into a psychological situation where we get upset and mad that we did this and that and we didn't follow. The process is working. We trust the process. So talking about why we like that. That's why we like the Oakland Athletic bats, to get up on Taijuan Walker's terrible numbers, or if the bullpen comes in, to get up with the WOBA and the ISO and the lefty-righty matchups we're seeing. All right. And we're hoping McNabb just can perform, do a better. I think he can. If he can do what happened at the Angels, if he's in the mood and he's McNabb, he can do it again, but in a better demeanor against the Mariners. The Mariners lineup is weaker than the Angels, so if he was throwing 40 or 55 strikes that week, I think he can try to do something like that again. Now, going to the love of our life, the other love, I almost said love of our life, the game that was so hard for us to decide off of, all right, is the White Sox. And now, if you take a look just off the bat, historically, against Keuchel, the Royals haven't had that much history batting that well off them. But I want to mention something else that's obvious to all you guys. Keuchel is one of the best ground ball pitchers in the MLB. 60.2%. If you look back, you read, he wins so many games with ground ball support. Last week, or the last matchup, if I recall, he threw 1 strikeout, and I think it was 2 walks. You'd have to go check me on it. It was but he threw 5 innings. So what does that mean? He must have just gotten outs. All right? And ground balls must have been in play. I have to go watch the game. So the reason why we love Keuchel in this situation is the ground ball scenario. And we feel that, okay, that'll deter Kansas City and perhaps any advantage they may bring to the plate tonight. All right. Now, the opposing K rate for Kansas City is actually fairly decent. They don't strike out when you look at the slate and overall. That kind of worries me a little bit. That's one of the only comments I kind of have in this situation against Keuchel is if there was something that were to really pull out from the pitching metric side of it, just this one angle, is Kansas City tonight is in a very disciplined situation, and Keuchel has only 18.2% in Ks. Last game he only threw 1K. So you could argue Kansas City won't be striking out, but they'll be putting balls in play, or if they make contact, if then Keuchel's advantages stick out, that the ground balls will be the exact reason why they may not be able to put up enough runs to beat the White Sox just from that aspect. We didn't even go over the juicy part of the White Sox, right? Now, the juicy part of the White Sox is two things. Let's go over what we know, okay? The known fact is the White Sox batting. Their WOBA, 354, ISO 200. We mentioned that, okay? So all those bats getting up in there, and if you look at their lineup today, they're setting up nice. They're making a debut with that one guy, Madrigal, if I'm saying his name right. And I'm a big fan of playing fantasy on the day there's a debut player because they'd love to hit a home run on their debut day. It just feels like it. Trust me. So if you go look back, I'm going to try to hurry this up because we're getting in the 16-minute mark. If you go look back, the White Sox batting situation here is tremendous just from the batting side. Stellar. All right? We don't need to really break it down too much. We already did it earlier. How about, let me see if I got some ISO numbers or anything handy. I don't think I did have some numbers handy for player by player, and now I actually closed the file I had. So, but it's okay. If you actually take a look, let's click over here in the, they have Tim Anderson. We want to keep an eye on Jose Abreu, Tim Anderson, Madrigal today because he's making his first appearance, and Yohan Moncada. I think those three, Abreu, Anderson, Moncada, are definitely in play today. Even McCann. I think McCann might hit a dub or a home run. You never know, man. I've been waiting for McCann to get up this year. There might be some McCann action today. I'm not sure who's playing, Grandal or McCann. I got to go see. I don't know what's going on. We got to double check that. But just so you know, and you already know, the batting situation we've talked about, the White Sox are slightly stronger than the Athletics today on paper with the WOBA and the ISO, okay? So, and the K rate is 23.8%, White Sox 22.9%, Athletics. You know, just about 1% differential, so you're not too scared about it if that's a factor you're using. Now, what do we have going on the pitching side, which this is our unknown factor of the game, and then we'll close it out on why we're on this pick. The unknown factor of this game is we have Bubik, who's a 22-year-old guy. He jumped over double and triple A. He's coming straight from single A baseball. Now, he's supposed to be a top 5 prospect from what I understand from the Kansas City system. And I still rely on the fact that there's a chance that he has jitters, right? And he's making his debut. Jumping from single A up into the majors is a big deal. There's nothing obvious about it. Everybody's probably already looking at this pick. There's nothing obvious about this, right? But the situation here is just some numbers that I'm not sure if you're aware of. He had 185 strikeouts last year in 149 innings. Now, that's in high A, single A baseball. Can that translate over? I don't know. And in that group, it was 23%. So, sorry, that's 23% against left-handedness. So you'll see how putting the right-handed bats in here, just the White Sox getting in against the lefty is a very, 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 very strong situation. We mentioned that earlier in the video. So I cannot argue with the fact that taking the White Sox with Keuchel's demeanor to control the ball game, keep it on the ground, right? And bashing on the idea with the setup you have just with the White Sox bats alone in the lineup and taking advantage of a single A pitcher coming in the game, even though he's a prospect. Now why why are we not taking that as the official pick? Only because even though we love both of them, we take the Oakland Athletics as the pick because we would be breaking slightly out of our process if we took the White Sox, because we don't have much in our homework information on Bubic. And that means we would be totally ignoring obvious blunt information on Walker, whether or not it works or not, which is the same angle we've been attacking whenever we have that opportunity. So we're paying $35 to $40. We're not saying it that we're paying $200 juice. We're actually saying we're paying $30 to $40 more dollars insurance on mental stability and psychology and acceptance to make sure we're trusting our process that's made us 10-2, that's made me successful over the years, and making sure we still stay on that yellow brick road and we make the selection off of that, even though we love the White Sox. So the official pick is the Oakland Athletics minus 200. I still haven't bet it. I wanted the folks that want to listen to this hear it and then make their decision. We love and lean on the White Sox. Shop around for it. But guys, remember, and gals, I'm in Bet365. They pay out with a 5-run lead. And yes, we will make sure there's full transparency. If we ever need to keep 2 records, one official and then once with an asterisk because it's a Bet365 record, we will do that. And I'm hoping Bet365 expands out to other states. So again, to close this out, one little thing, not that I think this can happen, but Keuchel, if he has a bad day, he has allowed 339 WOBA and 14 home runs to right-handed hitters. Despite, he did come in, I think there's some caveats to that, so just so you know, but I think his ground ball success is something to really pay attention to. But just remember, Kansas City's bats on the K rate is patient, and Keuchel doesn't throw Ks, and this does say 339 WOBA with 14 homers to the right-handed side. So just little, when we break it down with finite things and making sure constantly with every decision, I'm on the phone with my guy Matt saying, hey, let's stick to the process today because it's tough. Let's stick to the process. And we don't want to parlay it up. If you parlay it up, you get like 140. Then just go ahead and if you're going to put, $150 to make 200, you might as well just put 150, 160 and just take one pick. And it's easier to win 50% than to try to break it down and win multiple. So when we break it down little by little, we just want to make sure we stick to the process. And in our angle, we're just paying a little bit of juice, $30 to $40, to make sure we stay in the lane, stay in the money. We're looking to go number 11, and that's why we're here. I apologize for the long video, but I hope you enjoyed listening to it. It really breaks it down. Let's stay in the money. Let's stay green. Let's go for number 11. Again, official pick Oakland Athletics. I'm going to wager it after I upload the video, and then I'm going to post it. We're going to do it differently, just so you have time to put the video on and do your thing. So, again, official pick Oakland Athletics, minus 200 money line. And make sure the pitching action's on. This is all homework on McNabb and Walker. And we do like White Sox. We love it. Action on Keuchel and Bubic. Remember, action on wherever needed. All right, and then again, the homework, we're betting these things with the action on. If we're not, we'll let you know. Good luck, stay green. Let's get number 11, Rambling and Gambling Sports. I'm TekMuNNee.